Hello and welcome to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Will Lou. A reminder, we are streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel and airing live on Sportsnet 360 Monday to Friday between 1 and 3 p.m. I'm Joe, my producer and co-host Alex Wong. The vibes are incredible. What is that, like an all-time high?
Yeah.
What's going on,
What's
man?
going on, man?
Great
Vibes.
hat.
Yeah, thanks, man. Vibes are immaculate. Actually, what are words? Let me see. Synonyms for immaculate. Oh, these are not going to work. The vibes are clean. The vibes are pristine.
I think the vibes can be pristine. No, it's...
Our producer, Derek Brandeo's locked in today.
Yep.
Lots of cool drops coming. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got nothing to say to me? What's going on?
I'm
Why are you
just
looking at me.
I'm just look. First off, we have spent like way too much time together this week.
Yeah, see you tomorrow night.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's right. Recreationally somehow, not for work.
Recreationally is how you describe the hangouts.
Yeah, no man.
Why? Because we only go to the rec room.
Damn. Okay, all right. Nice little dad joke there. No, but seriously though, you and I were in that booth yesterday, and you got to admit, I was very chill. I was very relaxed.
What about when Scotty dunked on Joel Embiid and there was a foul called on Scotty?
Yeah, that was the only time I got upset. But like
Okay.
other than that, you and I were having a blast up there. The amount of times somebody would hit a shot, like Pascal hit a mid-range jumper, or like Precious Achiuwa pull up for three, and we would just like it. Honestly, you and I in that booth yesterday was like NBA players at the dunk contest reacting.
Yes.
Like I was KG, I was Shaq with the camcorder.
Yep.
You were KG, just like, oh man,
Yep.
I can't believe Precious is just pulling up like KD now. So vibes are at an all-time high. The Raptors defeating the Philadelphia 76ers. And look, as we went into yesterday's game, we weren't even like, for me, I was like, look, if they win it, they don't win it, it doesn't really matter that much to me. The playoffs are clinched. They're resting some guys who are banged up. Makes total sense to me. Let's just go ahead and go with it. And felt like the Raptors had a lot of fun with it. It felt like the Philadelphia Sixers were miserable as
they're
a
a
team,
miserable
as a
bunch right now.
franchise. And yeah, Danny got his ring finally. Danny played well. I'm happy for Danny. But
Yeah, shouts to Danny, 6 3-pointers. The Sixers hit 19 threes.
yeah.
They were up 17-2 to start the game.
17-2.
The
Yeah, Nick Nurse
Raptors-
was like, let me start both my centers and get us in the hole just to get the Sixers to feel a little bit of comfort.
Yeah,
and then bam.
Nick Nurse is like, I'm bored. I need a challenge.
Yeah.
So let's roll with this lineup. Khem Birch to start. So no Fred, no OG, down 17-2.
Mm.
The Sixers have two superstars, Joel Embiid and James Harden. The Raptors apparently have none, but the best player on the court last night was Pascal Siakam, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we've been pushing propaganda on everybody, right? We've been pushing P, literally.
We've been talking about the Sixers all week. We've been asking everybody.
We talked to Danny Green himself on Monday.
Yeah, we talked to Harrison Sanford yesterday to get the Sixers perspective.
We talked to him in person, too. I talked to him after the game. I made sure to go up to
Oh, yeah, what's the update
Harrison
on Harrison
and Amjad
after the game?
afterwards.
After the game yesterday.
Oh, he misses the city so much, man.
Well, he's coming back in a week.
Yeah. He said he might not even leave.
You better
No,
go to Eaton Center and load up.
No, he loves this place. No, but seriously, though, look, man, I'm not going to try to reveal private conversations. I can just tell you what
I
you
am.
already
That's
know.
all I do on this show.
Is that the Sixers vibes are not good.
Yeah. Listen,
people are not fans of each other, of Doc Rivers,
Yeah.
of James Harden.
Oh, you're hearing things. Are you hearing things?
Listen, I'm not a per sources kind of guy.
But you're sourcing. You're out here
no,
sourcing.
no. Relax. No, I'm just saying the vibes are very evident
Yes.
and they're bad. But on the Raptors side, we've been having this conversation with everybody about Pascal All-NBA, right?
Yep.
This show is the same show every week. We're just doing twice as much of it now because we're extended from 1 to 3 p.m. Yeah, seriously, that's what Dan Tolman said to us.
TGIF, by the way.
Oh God!
Thank God it's Friday. That's
Better-
what they say. That's what they say at the offices.
Yeah.
Fridays are always the best at the offices.
How do you
know?
feel about working a full work week
Yeah,
for the first time in a decade?
Listen, I feel blessed, man. I feel blessed to be sitting here with you.
Security's here for you, by the way, in the background. Okay.
It's every Raptors fan dream to sit next to Will Lou and talk ball. So I always take it as an honor.
It's not about
You
me,
called
man.
me Uncle Ben this week. You said with great views come great responsibility. What a week it's been.
Yeah, it's been a great week.
I don't
Obviously, you
even-
can tell our energy is incredible right
We
now.
started the week with Chris Boucher and Danny Green. That was this week.
Yeah.
That feels like ages ago.
Yeah.
So, no, it's been a great week. And listen, the only thing I'm worried about, and I know you give me a hard time about it, is like whenever things go too well for the Raptors. Because right now, I think, and it looks like Philly, there's still a lot of scenarios left, but most scenarios have the Sixers in the 4th seed. And the Raptors' magic number to clinch the 5th seed is at 1. And they can do that with a win tonight against Houston, which means that they can just send a skeleton crew to New York on Sunday. And if this is the 4-5...
You trying to get a run?
No.
Okay.
If this is a 4-5...
You can start at center.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about you either at center. But
no, definitely not me.
But the 4-5 matchup, it's almost too obvious now. I feel like the main storyline going into a Raptors-Sixers first-round series, like a lot of people are going to be picking the Raptors to win.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the... Okay, so first off, the season series, Raptors win 3-1.
The one game that the Sixers won was when the Raptors were just bouncing back from losing all their rotation players from COVID. Pascal played in that game, but I believe there was no Fred, there was no OG, and they were missing a lot of guys in that game.
They're missing a lot of guys. In fact, I was watching the highlights of that game. First off, they started Yuta Watanabe.
That's right. Shouts to Takashi.
They brought Daniel Otoru off the bench.
Oh, the Daniel Oturu era.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
do we have Tremont Waters and Daniel Oturu and we're pushing 50 wins?
No, we had Yuta and his friend Otoru.
Stop it.
That's right. No, the energy for today is incredible.
Wrong with you?
That's...
By the way, we are drafting.
Shout out Studio Ghibli.
We are drafting our favorite regular season moments today. Yes, sir.
We finally have that drop.
Let's go, Derek Brandeo.
Damn.
Yes, so we're drafting that with the Toronto Stars, Lee Van Osman, and then Enes Esmer, actor, Raptors fan, creator of Spice and Dice, is going to join us in studio in the second hour. But yeah, the draft is going to be fun. Are you going to be drafting any Orlando Magic Raptors moments? Probably not, right? Yeah. If the Raptors just beat the Pistons a couple times.
There is one candidate, and I don't think I'll ultimately pick it, but maybe I'll put it into your brain. Remember Scotty versus Suggs, the first game? And there was that play that Scotty made where he went the full length of the floor in 3 dribbles. Didn't take a single dribble inside the three-pointer and dunked it.
Yes, that was in the first quarter too, I think.
Ooh, man, that was incredible.
We could probably draft, because we go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
If we even wanted to draft just Scotty moments, I think we could have been able to fill 5 rounds. Honestly.
Yeah, again, we have the offseason to deal with.
Oh, that's right.
So
shouts to Scotty yesterday showing up in that championship jacket, Danny Green's championship jacket.
Yeah, that was cool.
I guess that's his.
But then he also stared into Danny Green's soul at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Looked back at him then dunked on him.
He said, Danny is my media voucher. Like, that's food right there. He said that's food. He redeemed. Shouts to Danny, but he redeemed that voucher.
Scotty was in transition, and as he often does, looks back at the defender, and he looked at Danny Green, and he said, Alouette. And then he jammed on him. Man, that was great. That game was so good.
The Alouette agenda is ridiculous.
Yeah, let's get a sponsorship.
Shouts to former global ambassador of the Raptors Show, by the way, James Herbert. Great feature on Scotty Barnes today where he talked to Fred, Scotty, and a lot of other people. Everybody should check that out at CBS Sports. Yeah, I don't know, man. Last night's game, Pascal. I mean, the one play I keep thinking about was at the end when he made that move, made Joel Embiid disappear.
Ooh, man. Honestly, I think that was the biggest takeaway. Like, look, the whole game was really fun. There's so many things to talk about. But Pascal going up against Joel Embiid, that's such a clear sign of his growth as a player, because 2019 playoffs, that was the biggest swing factor in that series, was when the Sixers decided we're going to put Joel Embiid on Pascal Siakam. That happened, I think, game 2. And Siakam really couldn't do anything with it, to the point where he got so frustrated in game 3, he intentionally tripped Joel Embiid. I think Pascal picked up a calf injury, too. That's just how karma works in that situation. And we know that. It's really out of character. Look how positive and upbeat and bright Pascal is. He's not that kind of guy whatsoever. And he apologized to Joel for that move. But that series, part of the reason why, Kawhi had to carry them to that degree was because Pascal couldn't do anything against Joel Embiid. And then you fast forward to this season. Pascal in 3 games against Philly, all in which Embiid played, 26 points, 28 points, and now last night, 37. And you look at last night specifically, all those possessions where he's going one-on-one against them, beating him in a variety of ways, whether that's the mid-range jumper, whether that's the spin move he got through contact, finish and one, the little up fake, as getting Embiid to just, I mean, Joel was jumping.
No, Joel disappeared, man.
He literally disappeared off the screen. And then Pascal was like, oh, and then went in with the finger roll.
And a finger roll, too. Some of those moves last night.
Oh, my goodness.
So he finished with another triple-double. 37 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, 14 of 28 from the field. Went to the free throw line 10 times. He was shouting and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 last night, man. And it really made
Yeah.
me think of this wonderful tweet from Twitter user at TMN_04 And he said earlier this week, Pascal leads the league in ethical 30 balls.
Oh yeah.
No spamming pull-up threes, no foul grifting, just bang down low, elite footwork, scoring over mismatches, mid-range game, silky touch inside, navigating tight windows. It's different.
Yeah.
That was an ethical 30 ball last
First
night.
off, shout out to whoever wrote that tweet because that was taking over Raptors Twitter. Admittedly, and like honestly, you and I probably have tweeted like, I don't know, probably 20,000, 40,000 tweets about the Raptors between us.
Yeah, 100,000.
It's really embarrassing to even say that
Yeah,
number.
and they're usually the
And
same 5 tweets. from
We've
me.
never had something as good as that.
No, we've never been
Yeah, no,
able
that's
to hit this. So we're putting this tweet in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
yes, it's right up there with "Don't worry, I got us." No, but seriously, this tweet, which is talking about ethical 30 balls, I think it's funny because when you look at the Sixers and the way they play, it feels mechanical, feels artificial.
They look old. They look slow.
It's a genetically modified team. You know,
I mean, we're just going to put Thad Young on James Harden because I feel like that might work.
oh my God, that had a great defensive game yesterday.
James
too.
Harden, it's not even, okay, like, I know, he's going through a tough stretch right now, but it's just, forget about the shooting numbers or any of that. It's just that when he's getting to the basket, he has no lift and he just can't get by anybody.
No.
Like, shouts to Thad Young, who, is a very good defensive player.
Mhm.
But if you're telling me James Harden versus Thad Young in an isolated environment, even like 2-3 years ago, like I'm telling you, James Harden's going off for 40.
Yeah.
And I mean, what are you seeing from James Harden? Because this looks like the playoff matchup.
Can I tell you what I've seen from James Harden?
Yeah.
2 games in a row, he can't get by Kem Birch on a switch. He can't resist charging into Chris Boucher. And the Raptors have played him in a very unique way. And I remember because, you came to the office. I'm sitting on my desk, 2 screens. One screen I have the Raptors post-game interviews from last night, catching up on those. Other half I have, the video box score, looking through the plays from last night. And as I showed you, the Raptors have a very unique way to play James Harden, especially in that pick and roll involving Joel Embiid, because that should be really deadly, right? So what the Raptors do is, especially when Kem Birch was out there last night, when that screen comes from Joel Embiid, Kem doesn't help at all. In fact, he doesn't even move. He just stays right with Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Doesn't help at all. Allows Scotty to run James over the top of the screen, downhill, and then makes no attempt to cut him off. Let James go all the way down into the paint, and that's where the Raptors send a defender waiting for him at the basket, not even jumping, just putting their hands up. That is the defensive strategy the Raptors is using against him. And it has worked really well. I mean, he has not had good games. To be fair, he's been struggling against a lot of teams, so I'm not even saying this is a Raptors-specific thing. But James looks washed, man. What'd you say about him?
What did I say?
The way he drives look like a...
No, man. Listen, so the way I'm looking at this playoff
things
matchup
I've seen in this office.
Oh, you're turning the tables, eh? I
Can't
see.
even say that one, man.
I see.
Yeah.
So the way I'm looking at this playoff matchup too, and it's like we know the Sixers have remade this roster in so many ways since that matchup during the 2019 championship run between these two teams.
But did they make him better in any ways?
But this is my question. It's like, are we not just going back to the same talking points and the same problems? Like they have a lack of depth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about them when Joel Embiid doesn't play.
Yeah.
And we know that Joel Embiid does wear down over the course of a playoff series, over the course of a game. Like we see, like
he gets tired.
Remember the last time the Raptors, by the way, the last 2 times the Raptors have beaten Philly in this regular season was without Fred.
And OG.
Yes, and OG in both games. So my thing is like, it's really going to be the same storylines. And we've talked, and if James Harden is just going to be another guy, because he was supposed to be the upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Like here comes the second star to support Joel Embiid. We're going to stagger their minutes, make sure there's a star on the floor at all times. That's a problem if James Harden isn't a top 10, top 15 guy, and he's more of a top 30 to top 40 guy. And then everything else, the Raptors are a bad matchup for the Sixers.
Yeah.
Because James Harden, if he wants to find, like, he's just going to switch on to an elite defender every single time. Like, I don't know. Obviously, we're going to talk more about this next week. I'm going to be really disappointed, by the way, if it's not the Sixers.
Oh.
If we got to come in next week and preview like the Celtics or the Bucks, it's got to be the Sixers at this point. And I'm not saying, I know there's some fans that are like, oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves. like, picking the Raptors to beat the Sixers, all of that stuff. And we'll talk through it next week. I'm not saying it's obvious that the Raptors are going to upset the Sixers. All I'm saying is I'll be pretty disappointed at this point if the Raptors don't beat the Sixers in a first-round series.
Okay, all right. To your point about Harden, I think we're waiting for another level for him to go to, but like I think the hamstring thing is a real issue for him. He really lacks burst, right? Even the step backs, he's not getting much separation. Like that's the thing with Harden. He had such a quick first step. He could get by people, and then he could draw the foul. He could finish at the rim. He used to be able to dunk on people. Even the step back requires a lot of like explosiveness, quick twitch explosiveness. He was so quick at changing speeds. Just doesn't have that anymore. And like you saw him like isolating against, Thad Young, air balls, trying to attack Precious Achiuwa. For what reason? Do you not read the scouting report? Precious Achiuwa might be our best individual defender, man. Especially with OG out. Like you really want to intentionally switch on to Precious? Which, by the way, I was speaking about that play at the end of the game where Scotty looked at Danny Green and dunked on him and said Alouette, right? The play that preceded it, so the Raptors had made a couple plays, and the Sixers called timeout. They come out of the timeout. They give the ball to James Harden. And you'll see at the top of the floor, as he's bringing the ball up, he's going to get a screen at half court. And Scotty fights for that first screen. Then Tyrese Maxey comes over with a moving screen, whatever, I don't really care. Gets the switch. It's on to Pascal Siakam at that point. Then he runs through a screen with Joel Embiid. Gets another switch. He gets Precious Achiuwa on the ISO. And then he tries to drive on Precious, loses the ball. Pascal secures the rebound, throws it up ahead to Scotty. He dunks it, right? But just think about James Harden's perspective in that play. He starts with a 6'9" forward with a 7'2" wingspan, athletic like hell. Then he switches on to Pascal, same matchup. Then he switches on to Precious Achiuwa, same matchup. That's what the Raptors have intended. That's Vision 6'9".
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this.
No, what do you even do if you're James? If you can't even get separation against Thad Young, you're going to get separation on those three guys?
Plus, James Harden has a history in the playoffs of when things get a little tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
Someone in the YouTube stream said the vibes are caviar and champagne.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like an Oasis song.
Yeah, you like caviar? You don't strike me as a caviar person.
No, I'm not, man.
Yeah.
Just not really.
By the way, for those just listening, Will's wearing a powder blue Toronto Blue Jays jersey.
That's right. You can watch.
Look like a Rogers employee today.
All 162 games of the Toronto Blue Jays on Sportsnet.
Okay.
Right. You can listen to the games on the radio as well.
Did they tell you to say that?
No. I'm just a big fan.
Name 3 Toronto Blue Jays pitchers in the bullpen on opening day.
What?
Name 3 bullpen.
Is Aaron Loop still here?
Oh, come
Brett
on,
Cecil?
Man. What's wrong with you, man? This guy only knows Jesse Litch.
Yeah, of course I know Jesse.
Shouts to Dan Devine of The Ringer, by the way.
Yeah.
One of the many people that we had on over these past couple weeks talking about the award balloting. He put out an article at The Ringer today. Everybody should check out, revealing his ballot. He's got Pascal Siakam on the All-NBA third team. Fred VanVleet is on the All-Defensive second team.
Nice.
And Scotty Barnes is his Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
So are you taking full credit for that? Or what's going on?
No, listen. I think, as I told everybody.
Dan said if Will's going to make me just sit here and listen to a 9-minute monologue, I will simply put the Raptors on the ballot.
This is a cornerstone of every great democracy, is that everybody should be able to vote according to their own beliefs, right? But then again, I think people can assess the whole situation and come to the right conclusions, which I think Dan has done. So if I help Dan in any way, I think I'm just trying to help democracy is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. I think too, like, shouts to Dan because he does. I think there's a perception sometimes of, American media don't watch the Raptors, they don't pay attention. Yeah. Dan watches a lot of Raptors.
Oh yeah, of course.
He watches a lot of Raptors.
Yeah, and if they don't, that's where I'm here to help them fill in the context.
Well, if Howard Beck watched last night's game, I think Pascal is on the All-NBA team.
By the way, I felt like Howard was already leading that way anyway.
Yeah, that's why we just hung up on him.
Yeah. By the way, that's the thing where I've done 4 of these now.
Yeah.
And the addition of having you beside me here, which is great, is because, I always go on these monologues. I'm like, I prepare the research, I present the research, and then I'm like, what do you think?
Yeah.
But then I always forget to just be like, so what's your vote?
Right.
And that's where you came in. You're like, all right, Howard, this is cool, but what's your vote, man? Give us your vote right now. And then he did.
Yeah, and then we hung up.
Yeah, this is great, man. Seriously, that was an MVP performance from Pascal. I think really when you look at it, what he's done this season against MVP candidates has just been so impressive because you saw the last time he went up. So last night, right? 37, um,
37, 12, and 11.
37, 12, and 11. Man. Okay, so that's already a great performance, right? The last time he played an MVP candidate, Denver.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 12 of 22 shooting. By the way, I think he had 33 just in 31 in the first 3 quarters, right? You look at the other times he played MVP candidates this season. Milwaukee, the last game when the Raptors went into Milwaukee, having already won the first 2 games in that matchup, what did Pascal do? 30 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 11 of 20 shooting.
Yeah, you read those stats earlier this week from that real GM thread that you pulled up, right? Against like playoff teams. Like
that's the thing. This is a different Pascal. This is a very different Pascal. He has performed against these top teams. Did he show any fear last night?
No, he looks as comfortable as ever out there.
He looked at Joel Embiid and said, I want to attack Joel Embiid. Who does that?
Pascal's offensive package is rapidly growing still, which is ridiculous.
And you look at Pascal's numbers this year, right? The NBA.com has this great thing where the player tracking data and they'll look at the matchups in terms of who you attacked and whatever, right? So Pascal Siakam against Joel Embiid has scored 19 points in that matchup. It's the most points he's scored on an individual player outside of Miles Bridges, who he's had 26 against. Shout out to I took her on a date and I spun her like Siakam. Like I think Pascal took Miles Bridges on a drive and spun her like
Pascal
Siakam.
took every All NBA player and spun on them, man.
Right? But seriously, it's 26 against Miles Bridges, 19 against Vucevic, 19 against Embiid. That's his most points on against anybody this season. He's 9 of 16 against Embiid this season. I went back and watched the clips of all 3 games where he's played against Embiid. He's beat him consistently on multiple moves. He's one of the best defenders in the world.
Yo, he's making this guy look lost.
So no, I think you don't, again, like I said yesterday, the MVP, the propaganda writes itself.
Yeah,
the propaganda is what it is. The propaganda is just watching the game.
Yeah, the work speaks
Watch
for itself.
what Pascal's doing, man. He should be all NBA. Scotty Barnes had 10 points in the 4th quarter. Quiet game before that, but really came on strong.
Yeah, hit some huge shots there in the 4th.
Yeah.
Very involved. Shouts
over at the start of the
shouts to Gary Trent Jr. as well.
Yeah. I can't believe it, man. What a game. The Raptors are at an all-time high. And, this season has been so good. I think I want to take this quick break. And when we come back, we are going to have another draft. That's right. We got to put that on the Raptors Show bingo card. That's part of Raptors Show culture. We're just going to draft things. And
people love the draft, by the way. A lot of feedback when we went to Inside the Green Room event talking to some listeners of the show. They're like, love the drafts.
Okay. Well, there's another one for you. We're going to draft our favorite regular season moments so far this year. So I've been your host, Willu. That's Alex Wong. You're listening to The Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Will Lou. I continue to be joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong, and we are joined by special guest Liban Osman of the Toronto Star. Liban, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm in a hotel in Portland, but excited to be with y'all.
What? Wait, hold on. What are you doing out there?
He's doing work, bro. He's on the ground. It's called
Hell yeah.
reporting.
I don't know what that is anymore. I'm just I'm a propaganda artist at this point.
This guy's just sourcing stuff, talking to Harrison Sanford on Media
No,
Row.
man, relax. Come on, don't expose my sources around the league.
Oh man, Liban, how are you doing, man? By the way, Liban wrote a wonderful oral history about one of the most talked about regular season games in Raptors history. What do we call this game? The Mo Peak game against the Washington Wizards?
Yeah.
Where-
Onions, baby onions.
Yes, where I believe it was Michael Ruffin who threw the ball up and then Mo Pete grabbed it, sent the game into overtime. He talked to Mo Pete and so many other wonderful people in this oral history at the Toronto Star. So everybody should check that out. And I figured because the vibes are so good and because we're coming upon the end of the regular season and because, Liban, you wrote this wonderful piece and because, Liban, you follow the Raptors as closely as us, we should draft our favorite regular season moments from this Raptors season. Liban, are you ready to do this?
Yeah, I got a list. It's deep.
How deep? Mine's 24 deep.
24 deep. Okay, mine's not 24 deep.
Okay,
but I have
so
some
you're-
good ones. I have some good ones.
He has like 5.
Oh,
He's
man.
gonna struggle if we
Nah,
take any of his.
Nah,
That's
picks.
not-
his number one pick going to be Potinery
Oh,
at the
yes.
arena. Because
For people that don't know, man, the way I treat Alouette is the way Liban Osman treats. What's going on, man?
I'm telling you,
Oh, my
Scotiabank
Lord.
has the best poutine.
Please do not do this.
Stop saying
Please
this,
don't
man.
do this
Yo,
on air.
I beg you go to Montreal one time. I beg you go anywhere in Quebec, actually.
I went to Montreal. What is it? Le Bon Qui?
Yes,
It
I've
was
been
a
there.
ma- it
Yeah.
was whatever. It was.
Oh, you're saying
it
it's
was
mid?
up to par. Bellissimos though, huh? Bellissimos.
Oh, my goodness.
Please do not
No,
do
Get
this.
this man off the show.
Please do
man.
not do this.
Come on,
This
man.
is why we never call you for the arena food report.
Yeah, no, this is.
But you know
yo,
what,
Do you
Liban-
have taste buds?
Do you
For
know?
real.
Do you have chopsticks? Do you know what Liban and I have in common? Both of our favorite restaurants is Scotiabank Arena. If someone from out of town hits me up and goes, "Yo, where should I go?" I'm gonna tell them go to Scotiabank Arena.
Scotiabank, yeah.
The big bank.
Scotiabank.
No, shouts to Liban, man. He's always got the poutine and the fountain Coke
Oh,
on
man.
lock. So at
Yeah,
the
that's
arena.
a
That's right,
constant.
bro.
Okay, let's without further ado, let's get to it. I think we've got some special music to kick off this draft. Oh my god, I'm hyped. So with every
Yes.
draft, the rules are the guest goes first in every round, Will goes second, Alex, the producer, goes last. So Liban, your first pick, best favorite Raptors regular season moment from this season.
I feel like Masai drafted Scotty Barnes. Right now.
Oh,
Okay,
It's tough.
I'm not gonna count that as the moment, but for me, it's in terms of games. The best game of the year for me, the Raptors win in triple OT
Yeah.
in Miami. It was the first time where, like, I
No, it was so good. This guy disconnected, man.
Yo, did he?
got disconnected. Someone's
Oh.
calling me, man. I don't know why someone's calling me.
Yo,
Okay,
come on.
but it
man.
was the first time. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
you're
got
good.
you,
You're
we
good.
got you.
Yeah, it
You're
was the
hilarious.
first time. It was the first time. Like, I was like, okay, this team can actually compete in the playoffs, and it was a period where everyone was kind of healthy too, right? And you go to triple OT. OG was locking up Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo,
Mm.
and it was. And also, we're playing guys 50 minutes. It's like, what the
Oh,
hell?
yeah, yeah.
Nick Nurse was a menace during this stretch, but I think rightfully so, because when you look at what the core was doing and the bench, the bench wasn't really doing much, and you kind of want to see what the core looked like against potential playoff teams. And I think this was the most. I think StatMuse tweeted this was the most minutes in a game by players, with Pascal 57, OG 56. I'm getting sick reading these numbers out, but like Gary 50, Scotty 56, like what the hell? And the bench was, when you think about it, they were non-existent, right?
Yep.
And then think about Scotty too, in that clutch.
Yep.
You know,
2 free throws to
Raptors
center
were
over
down
OT.
2.
Yep.
Right. It's like a rookie doing that is like, to me, that was the game where he obviously had a lull period in terms of his rookie campaign, but amazing start to the season. And then I kind of thought this was kind of like what brought him back in the mix again. And be able to do that. And then I think from there, the Raptors went on an 8-game win streak. And then key too with Scotty, people forget this. OG misses a 3. I think we were down 2, and then before that, before Scotty was hit the 2 clutch free throws, he gets an offensive rebound to put them back in the game. It's like, what? Scotty's doing this? So for me, that game was by far game of the year. Obviously, there's other debates, but for me, that triple OT Miami was like, okay, the Raptors are serious.
My favorite stat from that game, you listing the minutes, is that Fred played the least minutes of the 5 starters with 54 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was a light night for Fred.
That was a wild moment in the season where Nick was riding a 6-man rotation.
He was doing that for 2 weeks. Yeah.
That wasn't even rotating. You know when you like hit a Spotify playlist and you hit like just lock,
Right.
just on the repeat, you just want to hear the album over and over again? That was Nick Nurse.
Yeah, so that game, the Raptors came in 23-23. Since that game, they're 24-10. So that is really
the coach the team.
Yeah, that's really the starting point of them making this push from a fringe play-in team to now the number 5 seed, and everything that you said. You know, that has to be the most memorable game of the year. Will Lou?
Yeah,
I believe.
Okay,
You're up.
So before I take the pick, I have to wonder. So why can't we draft Scotty
You can take that.
being picked? I don't know why Levan didn't take him because I was so disappointed. Yeah, my number 1 moment of the season is gonna be Fred VanVleet in that draft special with the poker face on when it was revealed that the Raptors would not be taken. I think it was like, I don't know, something with the lottery, but Raptors at the 7th pick, it wasn't going to be us. It was like, oh, we had jumped into the top 4, and that so the NBA went to a commercial break at that point, and everybody on the timeline was so hyped. Like for those 2 minutes while those ads were showing, everyone was going nuts because it looked like the Raptors might actually win the lottery. They ended up coming back from the break. They're like, okay, so it turns out, surprise, Raptors going to take 4. And people were like slightly disappointed. But Fred VanVleet's poker face during that stretch, because that was, you have to remember, the Raptors did tank last season, but they tanked halfway through the season. So they weren't the 4th worst team in the league last year. They actually moved up in the draft. And that they moved up just enough to take Scotty Barnes. That's like one of the most pivotal moments in franchise history, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't going to take that because I thought we were sticking to regular season.
Nah,
you're cheating here,
you
man.
fumbled, man. It's okay. You
No,
fumbled.
Will's the host, man.
Nah,
He
you
can make the rules as he goes.
Nah, you just took Bargnani first overall, but it's all good. All right, let's go.
So,
Alex, who you got?
Yeah, so I'm up. So in honor of, Masai and Bobby in the Raptors front office, zigging when people are zagging and making unorthodox picks. I'm gonna go pretty wild with this entire draft. My first pick is Gary Trent Jr. wearing his reversible cardigan in Milwaukee. And the key point to note, too, is, the Raptors won that game with Gary on the bench. He showed up. He's wearing nothing underneath. And
Okay, bro.
The wildest thing for me is he flipped the cardigan at halftime.
Yeah.
And was wearing the other side of it.
Yeah.
So while Nick Nurse was going over schemes with the rest of the players, Gary's in the locker room changing into the same cardigan but different. So just picture that scene. Open gym, release the footage, please. That is my number 1 pick.
Yeah, because that was funny because the Raptors, I think, gave up 77 points in that first half. Remember? DeMarcus Cousins was dunking on us.
Was this when Bobby Portis was talking trash?
Yeah, he was like looking at Pascal Siakam, trying to bump him, trying to do all this other stuff. And, Cousins was dominating. By the way, that was the game right after the game. Cousins got cut.
They waved him.
They got him right after the game. I was like, oh, this guy's a Gerald Henderson Award winner. But
what Ubuntu is this, man?
No, that was not Ubuntu at that point. But yeah, as you mentioned, in that intense game on the road, Gary Trent Jr. is flipping his cardigan around.
Yeah. No, I'm going off the board with every pick today.
That's
So
good.
you guys enjoy your games
That's
and
good.
players.
Yeah. And
All
Pascal came clutch in that game, too. And they took the triple-double away from him. It was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't
was-
matter because
yeah.
he's putting them up every night now.
Facts.
All right, round 2. Liban, you're back on the clock. What do you got?
I got to take a moment, man. I was at the arena for this one. For me, it's when Goran, I want to call him Goran Tragic, returns. And he gets booed. That was glorious.
Oh.
That, to me, was the most beautiful thing I've heard all season.
Yep.
And it was deserved. I know some people are like, oh, why are you booing a guy that played in Toronto for, like, what, a game or two? Like, who cares? But, like, this guy, he was terrible. And he didn't want to play here. And he joined the team saying, right? He came in saying straight up, I have higher ambitions. And look at the Raptors now. We're a 5th seed. Where are you?
Yeah.
And the funny thing, too, is Hopefully he's well. I think he's been dealing with COVID, but he's shooting like 22% from three in March. Do
Ooh.
we really need the guy? So I hope he's well. But I remember when he went to the free throw line and he looked so
Oh,
scared.
yeah, he
And
missed
he
both.
bricked it both. That was the loudest boost I've heard when he bricked the free throws, and that was like, to me, that was probably my favorite part about the season.
Yeah. Well, I loved later in the game. Second quarter, Goran hits like a step back mid-range jumper and then shushes the crowd.
And then he posted it on his
What'd you
Instagram.
do?
And then he posted on the Instagram the day after they lost.
Like what?
Like, oh man, nah. The only person who would shush the crowd is Herbie, man.
Yeah.
You're not Herbie.
No, shouts to Herbie. No, that's a great one.
Goran
Will Lou,
Dragic, booing. Yeah.
Will Lou, you're on the clock.
Vision that cost the team.
Okay, what am I gonna take here?
You're struggling already?
No, there's just so many good picks,
Okay.
man. Okay, you know what? I already got moving up to 4 in the lottery. I'm gonna take Kyle Lowry's return. Very recent here, but just a moment. It was just such a beautiful scene. We knew that moment was gonna come eventually, where Kyle would come home and him showing up with the championship ring, you know, with the suit, making the time, soaking all in, the tribute video, you getting
Please,
George
please,
Hill.
please. That might be an upcoming pick. So
How is
please leave that
okay,
out.
all
of
right,
it.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, in
Thanks.
any case, Kyle Lowry returning to Toronto, the ovation in the building, the emotions in the building. It's going to be an all-time moment for me, just as a Raptor fan. Period. So I'm going to take Kyle's return.
Nice. So piggybacking off that, I'm going to take Kyle Lowry crawling between George Hill's
How?
legs, making Kyle Lowry's tribute video. Shouts to MLSE producer Adam, who we ran into at the arena yesterday.
Shout out
Had a
Holmes.
chance to really thank him in person. Glad he's still employed despite, including that clip.
Bro, that's why
Yeah.
he's employed. Man.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Got the ear to
Shouts.
the ground.
Yeah. So you went through this and broke it down yesterday, Will, because we were watching the video. So here's the sequence in the tribute video. It was a game winner against the Cavs. It was Nick Nurse talking about how Kyle is the fiercest competitor ever. It's talking about him making the All-Star game 6 times, his Thanksgiving food drive, a montage of him drawing charges, and then him crawling under George Hill's legs.
Yeah. Then right afterwards, he's hitting threes in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
He's
So-
lifting the NBA trophy.
That
Messiah's
person
calling him the
deserves
greatest
a
Raptor.
raise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, whoever included that.
an amazing moment. I know you were trying to tell me at the time in arena, Will, that this is your influence, and like I wasn't really taking it in. But when we were talking about it yesterday, I was like, man, that tribute video is going to be the video that everybody watches from now until forever.
Yes.
Of Kyle's return,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that clip will always be in there. So that's my pick.
No, listen.
And
it's-
you're the only one that mentions it. That's why it's there.
Oh my goodness.
I do have a problem with running jokes into
No.
the ground for 3 years
Listen,
plus.
if Matt Thomas returns to Toronto and they show a
Don't get
tribute
me
video
excited like that, man. What's wrong
of
with
Matt
you?
Thomas, that's
Yeah.
how you know Alex is too influential.
I will be narrating that video. I'll be narrating
No,
that video.
you're a sicko. All right, let's go on this. Round 3, Liban from the Toronto Star. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm picking the beginning of headband Gary Trent Jr. His
Okay.
stretch in late January, early February was absolutely special. I think he had like 32, like 5 straight. 32 against Charlotte, 32 against Chicago, 33 against Miami,
Yeah, he was going
31
crazy.
against Atlanta. 30, I can't stop. Like
It was 6 straight
hitting a
games, 30.
minimum-
Yeah.
a minimum of 5 threes during that stretch, and he looked like a straight hooper. So yeah, the headband worked. Hopefully keeps it on. And yeah, that's my pick.
No, that's a great pick, man. Gary has had a lot of great moments. But for me, I'm going to take another really great moment, which is Fred VanVleet against the Sixers, hits the 3.
How did this fall to round
Does
3?
What's the radio-friendly version of it? It's the big onions dance.
Yes.
Right in front of, by the way. So he hits the 3. It's in Philly. It clinches the win for the Raptors. And he does that dance. And guess who's on the Sixers assistant staff?
Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell, the guy who
Yeah.
invented the dance.
Yes.
And then the funny part is, so Fred gets fined because whatever, that gets fined these days. Adam Silver's a cop, but like,
We just shouted him out like yesterday, man. Now he's a cop.
No, he's a cop. He's been a
Yo,
cop.
this show's swerving way too much day to day.
And
man.
then the next game, Fred was listed out with a groin injury.
And then Goran started and they lost to the Pistons.
Oh,
But
my
that will not be
goodness,
part of this
nasty.
draft. We will not be drafting
Nasty.
any Detroit Pistons
Yeah.
moments. That's a great one. I'm going to pick a Fred one as well with my 3rd round pick. Fred VanVleet finding out that he made the All-Star team in the empty arena with Will Lou shouting, "Fred, you made it." Yeah. So specifically, Will telling Fred VanVleet that he made
That was pretty
the
cool.
All-Star team. So, and I think just in general, just what a season Fred's had. Just continuing this career development from undrafted to a starter to an all-star, possibly all-defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. And that was such a cool moment for DeMar to be there as well to celebrate with him on the court, his teammates mugging him and all of that. Such a great moment that I'm sure he'll remember forever, even though it was an empty arena.
Yeah. No, but there were fans in the building.
Oh, there was one fan. The center of the Raptors universe.
No, man, this
William
season's
Lou.
not about me. This team is not about me, man.
Weren't you on the Jumbotron at halftime yesterday? What happened?
Yeah,
Faisal
that's
Kamisa
different.
gave you a shout out?
That's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
He got a shout out from Faisal Kamisa while they were doing like a Sports Central update on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, listen, when you're a company man, the company's about you, man.
You are dressed like a Rod. You need to be in those
I look
SN
like
Now ads.
Nah, I look like a Rogers.
Get in that other studio and record an ad, man, please. All right, so we're on to round 4. Liban, what is your 4th pick?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with OG at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
36
Career high.
We were debating, I think, at this point in the season, could he be the guy? Like, but obviously that kind of died down. But like OG isolation, step back, bullying himself to the paint. This was like the Bing Bong era, right, where we're just like mocking the Knicks. It was, and I think that game too, the Knicks literally couldn't miss in the first half from 3. And then I want to shout out Alex. I think Swee's best game came in this, and I think we were calling.
He
him
started.
Fiji. Yeah,
I wasn't calling him Fiji. Worst
5.
nickname.
Hey.
Yeah, but yeah. No, I remember that.
This guy went from squeegee to squeegee.
And it was during a stretch where like Pascal's not there and OG's keeping this team afloat. It's like, what? So yeah, shout out to OG, 36 at MSG.
Bing bong. Man.
Derek's locked in today.
The Knicks beating the Celtics in the home opener and then the bing bong afterwards, everything, man. It's just, the Knicks are hilarious, man. Imagine getting that excited for one win, bro.
On opening
and they thought they were better than us.
Bing bong. Yeah, that's tough.
Man.
That's
All
tough.
right, Will, your 4th pick.
Yeah, I feel like I'm killing this thing because I'm getting all my favorite picks. I'm gonna take Scotty Barnes, 25 and 12 in his second ever NBA game in Boston, TD Garden. The Raptors blow out the Celtics. Scotty obviously puts up this ridiculous game. The Celtics are getting booed off their court by their fans in their home opener. That's what Scotty Barnes did in his first ever trip to Boston. His second game of his NBA career, 25 and 12. Yeah, man. Scotty's been special all season, and that's why I'm building my team around Scotty moments, man. But yeah, Scotty makes the Celtic fans boo their own team off the court, especially considering the Celtics are like pretty good this season.
Yeah.
That's something I'm gonna always cherish.
No, as I'm thinking right now, like I have so many Scotty moments that I could pick. Like we almost need to like package them. What's up, Lee Ben?
I was gonna say this. Like in terms of like just Scotty, like we talk about Evan Mobley being so good this year, but people forget how dominant Scotty was at the beginning of the season. We were so confident saying like Masai drafted the gem in the second game of the season. That's how confident we were. So like Mobley gets all this praise like for being so great this year, but Scotty at the beginning of the year, like nobody could match it.
Remember him ripping the ball from Jared Allen, him going coast to coast, stealing the ball from KD, looking back at KD.
Oh, that was gonna be my moment.
Yo, you can still have it. Don't worry. For my next pick, I'm gonna bend the rules too and take 2 Raptors memes.
Go ahead, yeah.
So the number 1 is the Chris Boucher exhausted meme. I think it really reflected just Chris Boucher's turnaround, right? Like bringing the energy level off the bench.
That was a Utah game.
Yep, along with Precious Achua. So this is a Raptors meme pick in general. The second one, I'm going to go with Gary Trent Jr. freezing in the Zoom. So Gary was just sitting there, and people thought the Zoom froze, but it's because Gary is just the most stoic person. So one of the reporters was like, hey, because Jennifer Quinn of Raptors PR was moderating, they were like, hey, Jennifer, I think Gary's feed froze. And Gary's like, nah, I'm here. And then he just went back to being a statue. So we know what a Gary Trent figure in the Wax Museum will look like. So I'm taking those 2 memes as my 4th pick. So on to round 5. Lee Ben, what is your 5th pick?
I want to pick 2 moments because they kind of tie together.
Okay.
I want to pick the LeBron press conference where he was like, I knew Scotty was going to be since he was grade 7.
Oh, my
Like,
goodness.
imagine the best basketball player in the world pulling up to one of your games when you're 12, 13, while you're dealing with like algebra and all this
Nah,
other
this guy
stuff.
was.
And then he's saying, "Oh, I know this guy's gonna make the league. One day he's gonna make the league." That's wild.
No, bro. This is the same as if like Will's like 7th grade English teacher was like, I knew he was gonna do 10 things and
Nah,
React pods one day.
LeBron pulled up, saw that Scotty Barnes figured out A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and said that guy's going to the NBA.
LeBron's so mad at his prediction, he threw the ball at him. Okay, so what's your like second part of this pick?
Second part is KD talking about Scotty.
Right.
When that was a tough game. The Raptors lost, I think, but that praise was like, and Scotty snatching the ball from KD that game. And then after the game, he was like, "Sheesh," right? He was like, "Who? Like he's 20? What?" Like that praise. That was kind of like the first major praise from a star, really, right? And then it just all started coming in, right? So those two praises from KD and LeBron are like two of the best in the game, right?
Yeah, no, you're certified if that happens to you. And by the way, shout out to KD for giving us that radio-friendly version because he stopped himself from swearing. Yeah. And then he said Rasheed Wallace.
All right, Will, what is your fifth pick?
So many good picks here. We're going to have a lot of Fred VanVleet undrafted moments here.
Yeah, we'll do honorable mentions after.
But listen, man, I got to take me and Chris making up.
That was going to be my pick.
Yes.
That was going to be my last pick.
Listen, man.
My boy William.
Yeah, me and my boy Chris, the Home and Home podcast.
You just said it's not about you, and then you pick a moment about yourself.
Listen, it clearly is about me this season. Hustle Play.
Yes.
And then back
one of the
here
top
on our
of the top 3 guests on Hustle Play, because they've had 3 guests so far.
Okay, all right, man. Come on, don't be rude. Yeah, but no, seriously, that was a great moment, great learning moment. Getting to know Chris, I've been a big fan of him this season, and
it honestly, all jokes aside, it was a big moment in like the Raptors universe. It just was. Like it really was.
This team's not about me, man. Stop making it about me.
You just picked yourself in a draft about favorite regular season moments. Is all I'm saying. Okay, I got to scramble right now. I'm gonna take Matt Devlin's game in Indiana when he gutted it out. When he gutted it out.
Yes.
And we obviously had him on the program to talk about it. Talk to Alvin as well. I still remember. I think it was Domantas Sabonis at the end of that game had a chance to make a 3 to send it into overtime. And I honestly do not. I think Alvin would have had to go solo in overtime because Matt laid it on the line like that night. So shouts to Matt Devlin. That's going to be my fifth round pick.
The way I visioned that broadcast crew was working was just at the end of the flu game where Pippen's like hugging Michael Jordan. That was Alvin. Alvin was
you've seen JPEGs of that. I know you weren't around to watch that.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that while I was in grade 12 or when I was 12 years old or whatever.
Oh man,
that's a pretty good draft, man.
No, it is.
There's a lot of good moments.
So many good men. Oh,
I know.
We missed a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lee-Man, let's hear what else was on your in consideration for you before we move on to our bonus round.
What was on my consideration? The Scotty Barnes versus I think Suggs. We kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
When Suggs at the line, everyone's like Scotty's better. That was I was at the arena for that game and it was like
pettiness.
Wow, that was special. I think the broadcast, another broadcast moment with Matt and Jack, where they're talking about Rob, whatever that got.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, that was funny. And then like the whole like fire. That game was just wild, right? Like,
we didn't even draft the fire evacuation game.
That's like, and then also the Westbrook game where he just hits a game winner.
Oh man, come on, bro.
Don't bring that up. Wow. Will always clenches his fist like Arthur.
I'm genuinely upset, man.
My quick honorable mentions. I got Lupe Fiasco performing on opening night. I got the Raptor mascot giving me a free T-shirt. These are too deep. Utah Watanabe blocking Dylan Brooks.
Yep. That was a nice moment.
I'm trying to think. Even moments from last night, like the Precious Achua pull-up 3 in transition, Pascal Siakam making Joel Embiid disappear, sweeping the Bucks in general.
Yep.
And those are really the main ones. You have any, Will?
Devin Booker versus the Raptor.
That's right.
The arena was fun. Yep. Nick Nurse on Murdoch Mysteries.
I spent an hour watching that for 1 minute of Nick Nurse, so that's not going to make it to this draft.
Murdoch Mysteries treated Nick Nurse the way Nick Nurse treated Malachi Flynn with the minutes.
Oh, come on, man.
Has your team won a game yet?
That's tough. That's tough, man. He made you watch the whole hour, and he was in there for 2 minutes.
I was doing research for the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have like 2 minutes left, so maybe quickly, I thought we could do a round 6, a bonus round of just favorite regular season moments. Doesn't have to be the Raptors, just from this NBA regular season. So real quickly, 30 seconds for you, Lee Ben. What's your favorite regular season moment, round 6?
watching the Lakers collapse.
Oh,
To me,
damn.
like I think we all predicted this, right? Like, I don't want to like go off on the management, but like you put together a bunch of old guys. Not to old shame you, Alex, but you know you put a bunch of guys that are like
That's one of the
at
main themes of the
Yo,
show.
Levan's half your age. You know that, right?
Oh, come on, man.
You
I'm
right?
legit-
Nah.
I was in such a good mood all week. TGIF too, man. Come on. Yeah. No,
Like,
I think
how do you put
that's a
Westbrook,
great pick though. That's a great
right?
pick.
Like,
So we've got literally a minute left here. Will, quickly, what is your round 6?
Man, I don't even know. I'm gonna
Okay.
go with just I don't know, man. I guess the Spo
Oh yeah,
Jimmy
the Spo fight. Yeah, that's a
I
good
don't know,
one.
man.
I'm gonna go with Ja Morant staring down a fan wearing a Steph Curry jersey courtside in
Yeah.
Memphis. Like
Just
Ja
Ja
Morant
Morant in
is
general,
ruthless.
bro. The highlights this season have
He's
been like
ruthless.
incredible.
Also, the Jokic brothers brawl is an honorable
Oh, yeah.
honorable
Yeah, that's a
mentions.
good
The
one.
Miami Denver.
A lot of heat fights this year.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. But
Pricey
listen,
too.
Lee Ben, really appreciate it. Everybody check out his work at the Toronto Star. Definitely read that Mo Pete Washington Wizards game, oral history. Lee Ben, man, looking forward to seeing you at the arena and have a safe rest of the trip out in Portland.
hell yeah, I'm taking you guys out to get Ethiopian food soon. So
Yo,
we'll
let's
chat.
do it, man.
Let's do it.
You know,
Hell yeah.
let's go.
See y'all.
All right. That's a good spot for us to take another break. I'm your host, Walu. This is Alex Wong. You're listening to The Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Will Lou. A reminder, we are streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel and airing live on Sportsnet 360 Monday to Friday between 1 and 3 p.m. I continue to be joined in the second hour by producer and co-host Alex Wong, and we are joined... Alex, you wrote the script here, so you go ahead and say this, man.
Yeah, we're joined by a Raptors fan, the creator of the Spice and Dice nickname for Pascal and Fred, and the best actor in the world.
There we go.
Ennis
There we go.
Esmer is here in studio with us. Also a big, Raptors Show fan.
Yeah,
right.
Huge fan. I listen to it every
Yeah,
day.
even though he just said 2 hours a day is a lot.
I mean, 2 hours is a lot in a day. I'm impressed with you guys for being able to do it. How's it going so far? How's the first the big 2 hour week on?
No, it's been great.
How
actually,
is it going, Will? I want your feedback.
Well, look, we're about to do Friday shoutouts. My main Friday shoutout is to Alex. People look. I make jokes all the time about how Alex doesn't work, about how he's always staying at home on Tuesdays, Blake Murphy Tuesdays. Alex not here. Yeah. Wednesday, I call Amy. I call Vivek. You're not here, right? But people have to know this. The whole show is based off the rundown of the topics and everyone putting together the effort and getting the clips together and getting the topics together and coming up with the ideas. That's Alex. You know what I do? I walk into the office. I rewatch the game like a nerd.
You are a nerd.
Right? And I'm like, hey, did you know how they guarded James Harden? Look, Kevin Burch didn't rotate.
Yeah, and I always say, no, please
and
show
then you're
me.
like, you just come in with a bag of free fries, which, by the way, go ahead and go get those today, by the way.
Forgot
Big
that.
reminder.
Okay.
15 threes for the Raptors last night.
Thank you.
All right.
But you actually do all the work. And for us going to 2 hours, Alex has been making, I'm not kidding, the rundown is 41 pages. Now, of course, this includes a lot of stuff at the bottom. Yeah, no.
We have a lot of break in case of emergency topics.
Right.
Just in case we run out of time.
Alex is very worried about having to burn time on air. No, but seriously, Alex, you've really stepped up, and, that's my shout out. So,
No, I appreciate you, man. Listen.
This is the one time I'm going to praise your work ethic.
The work speaks for itself, man. Doesn't matter.
You guys praise each other all the time on the show. It's so the vibes on the show are immaculate. Also.
We love talking about ourselves like that. I don't know if that's a
No, you love talking.
Is that
about
a
me.
feach or is that a bug of this show?
You love talking about me too much, man. You're making me too important
Ennis,
in the Raptors universe.
So we've been saying this, and I think you've like heard some of the shows, and you know that like Will Lou has a lot of stands. Like, especially at the arena, like a lot of Raptors fans, obviously, huge follower of Will going way back. Like I said yesterday, like Will Lou is really at the center of the Raptors universe.
I'm not,
this
man.
big hulky Chinese guy in a powder blue Jays jersey.
Listen, if the Raptors are like, the solar system, I'm like maybe Pluto, maybe.
Okay.
I'm like, sometimes I'm not even in the solar system. Sometimes I'm not even a planet.
You haven't been spotted yet.
You got to give yourself more credit.
No, man,
you're in the Mercury, Venus.
No, relax. Come on.
I'm trying to think of what other planets I could think of.
Everything orbits around you, bro.
That's a new Raptors show idea too.
Okay.
Raptors players as planets.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not bad.
We got plenty of content.
Fred VanVleet is Earth.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet is rice. Yeah. I don't know why we said that earlier this season.
Weren't you talking about meals? Like each player
I
is
think
a
it was
meal?
we compared them to kitchen utensils too. Remember that one show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how people
so
listen.
2 hours is good. You've been feeling 2 hours good.
Yeah.
I don't know how people listen to the show.
I've been saying
Thank you.
Utensils.
TGIF, man.
Yeah.
TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
Go to your Friday shout outs.
Oh, sorry. I was getting told to do work on air. So, as usual, shout out to everybody who made the Raptors Show and the Raptors Reaction podcast possible this week, including our producer, Derek Brandeo, JR Ryan Fabro, Kyle Maria, DT Greg Sansoni, Pat Flash, and everybody else supporting us behind the scenes. Also, a special shout outs to Jennifer Rolnick, whose nickname is J-Ro. So, like J-Lo, like Jenny from the block.
I get it.
For helping. Thanks, Ennis.
We'll talk about nicknames in a second. But,
we'll talk about Ennis's 3 days on the Schitt's Creek set soon. For helping us out on the YouTube stream. And thank you to all our guests this week. Danny Green, Chris Boucher, Blake Murphy, Vivek Jacob, Amy Audibert, Howard Beck, Louis Zatzman, Harrison Sanford, Liban Osman, Ennis Esmer. Wow. It's like, damn.
Yo, I'm just saying, that's all these guests are booked by Alex.
It's been a busy week. Yeah, shouts. I'm wearing a hat that says immigrant today from my guy Ash at the Score. Shouts to Ash.
Yep.
And shouts to one of the listeners, Pripal Kanhanya, who sent me a message on Instagram. He just finished his thesis for his PhD, and in the acknowledgement section, he gave the Raptors Show a shout out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that the show gives him a lot of joy. He's currently living in the U.S. right now, and he told me that the Raptors Show makes him feel like he's still at home.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so-
actually a really, really great thing to hear.
Yeah,
So
and
congrats, and also congrats on completing the thesis. That's not
Yes.
easy. Can you make sure that this person gets a pinky ring like Nick Nurse when he completes?
Oh, I thought you were
Nick
gonna-
Nurse got the pinky ring when he completed the thesis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna can you make sure you just send him a copy of Cover Story?
I mean, that's the least you could do as well, man.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man. Those are flying off the
Pripal,
shelves.
I'm
still.
gonna hit you up on Instagram. We'll get that done. Shout out to Amy Audibert, the new global ambassador
Yes.
of the Raptors show. I was ghosted by Amy at the arena yesterday. You want
Yeah.
to tell the story?
Yeah, so as Alex has detailed previously, so we have decided, me, Alex, Vivek, maybe other media members, we just decided to sit in the most premium seats possible
Before the game.
during warm-up.
Yeah,
Right,
during
right, right.
warm-up.
Just to know what it feels like to have generational wealth.
Yeah.
You know, to sit in those seats, because that's like probably $1 million seat.
Wow.
Okay. We're sitting there, and then so the players come out of the tunnel, and sometimes we'll say hi to Chris or say hi to Utah or whatever, right? So Amy comes out of that tunnel, and Alex goes, "Hey, Amy Audibert, Sportsnet, how you doing?" And then like Amy literally just walks straight past, doesn't look at him at all.
Wow.
She was on our show
Like
the
they're
day
strangers.
before.
And then she came back down the tunnel, was facing Alex this time. Alex said, "Hey, Amy," and again she
walked
said
right
nothing.
by.
So
I have a friend like that who used to not. Shout out Corey Mintz. He would his policy was that he would never, if he's like it was a run-in, he would never say hi. You could
Okay.
see him like you'd
Yeah.
have like a dinner, you'd hang out. That's one thing. But then he's a very mercurial guy. But if you saw him on this, I've done it before. I'd be like, "Hey, Corey," just walk right by me. Like, at
So
the
that's just like a
intersection.
social rule that he has.
It's a social rule that some people have. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I liked it with the masks because you could kind of pretend you don't see people on the street. You know what I mean? Since COVID, if you're not in the mood.
I might have to adopt the strategy at the arena.
Yeah.
'Cause yesterday I literally walked around in a disguise.
Yeah, his disguise is he puts his hood up on his hoodie.
That's a good discuss.
It was a big hoodie.
Yeah.
It was a big hood.
It's a big head.
It's a big
It's a
hood.
big head, man.
No, listen, with the hood and the mask, it was actually pretty successful.
Yeah,
I
but
brought up-
anyways, Amy did come back and talk to us. I think she was actually talking to someone in her earpiece, didn't see us. And she
Right.
was upset because yesterday we were ranking the all nerd team of Raptors, media, right?
Yeah,
Like people who really want to nerd out about basketball. And she was upset that we didn't put her on the team.
To be
there
fair,
it is.
I was thinking more about it. The amount of times Amy Audibert talked about screen assists,
Yes.
she got to be on this list.
All right, we're making an amendment.
But no, we'll just make a second team.
Okay.
Yeah, Amy's our first off the bench.
Okay.
She's the Chris Boucher of the team,
All
the
right.
nerd team. Yeah,
All right. So that's done.
There you
Shouts to Tristan Forbes as well.
always.
He's a digital content creator with the Raptors. We got to get him on the show. Talk about what it's like
Seriously,
to work
though.
behind the scenes with the Raptors. And shouts to Sarah McDonald. Ran into her at Alouette yesterday. Lots of people going to Alouette now.
Yeah.
Ever since the instructions have been posted.
Alouette,
What is going on,
Alouette.
man?
All right.
Oh, man. Yes, Amy just texted me, says she had her earplugs in. she
I
doesn't
love
want to
that
get
Amy's
called
really
out.
always listening. Amy, call in. Call into the station. Apologize to
Amy,
Alex on
drive in from Niagara Falls right now.
You put a lot of pressure on your next interaction with her now.
Nah,
gonna
we'll be
feel
good.
like
She's coming in next
self-conscious.
week.
All right, there you go.
So we'll settle it. Yeah, we'll settle
squash
it.
the beef.
Yeah, but what's going on, Ennis?
Not
You've been
much.
you're a longtime Raptors fan. How you feeling right now? The vibes are
I'm
immaculate,
feeling
like they said.
fantastic. I'm sitting there thinking like one Justin Champagny putback buzzer beater away from top four home
Oh my
home court
God.
advantage.
Yeah.
In the first
3 wins over the Detroit Pistons away from the number one seed.
the Westbrook steal. Like it's that close.
Scotty Barnes tipping against Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah.
OG getting blocked by Jokic
Oh
last
my
second.
God.
Oh yes,
Like we could be in first. We could be
Yes.
first in this conference.
we
Could
could
you
be
imagine?
pushing the Phoenix Suns for the best record in
Yeah.
the league.
I mean, we push them around anyway on the court, so we
Mm.
could be doing that.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. Like, I love a Raptors underestimated team, and that's what's happening this year. So
Yeah, this is a sweet spot too, because like I think for Raptor fans, like even next season there'll be huge expectations, and then we'll hurt our own feelings by
Yeah.
expecting so much. This is the year where you have everything is you're playing with house money. Last night's game was a perfect example. Like even I was chilling.
For most parts.
The whole game I was chilling. You and I were like celebrating that.
What
At one
about the
point-
ref you suck? Oh, okay,
Okay,
never mind, yeah.
relax.
Oh, okay,
That-
okay.
That would never happen from a
Yeah, yeah.
seasoned media
The
professional.
show is
like myself.
fictional. Yeah.
That's right. But what about us in the booth
You're
last night?
stammering.
And you made this comparison. You and I were literally arm in arm dancing like that Brooklyn Nets. Remember that
Like
bench
Rondé
reaction
Hollis Jefferson, Karis
Yes,
LeVert.
yes,
Yeah.
to? Yeah, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Dudley.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That Nets team just dancing on the bench. That was us dancing in the booth last night.
It was good vibes.
Yeah.
It was
So
good
we were
vibes.
chilling. Yeah. It was a great
And
game.
it's so
Great season.
It's wild because the playoffs are coming up, and usually playoffs is like a stressful time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we remember all the talk during those seasons when they were contending, like, oh, are they going to win game 1? like which side of the bracket they're on. I feel none of that right now. Like,
all that's been exercised by the ring and by the fact that we're actually not going to be at home, so no one can say like we're going to lose the first home game,
It's
which
funny,
was a thing
yeah.
for a while, right? Like all we had to look forward to was probably something negative or a jinx of some sort, and all that's gone.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm glad you have this attitude because I feel like a lot of the fan base do not, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of fans still, and this is the same across all fan bases.
Yeah.
Where it does get really stressful at this point of the year. Like we were talking about earlier, I think now a lot of people are going to be picking the Raptors to upset the Sixers in the first round if that's going to be a matchup. And like I'm stressed about that because now it feels so obvious. I'm like, what's going to go wrong?
Right.
No, you guys got to chill, man. Listen, after the Raptors won the ring,
Yep.
right? Bring this back to Lord of the Rings. It's like you drop that ring into the fire, and then all the orcs and schmorps. I don't sound like Zappo
I haven't
now.
seen those movies, so that
Oh, you
sounds
haven't?
right.
Okay, well, so
Yeah,
they
no,
all,
but I
they
felt
all-
the same
basically
way.
all evil in the world disappears after that ring is destroyed and
Yeah,
Sauron dies. So
Absolutely.
that's the Raptors and their anxieties. Like you can chill now. It's okay.
It kind of started with the Kawhi shot, which I mean,
Oh.
in honor of
Yeah.
in honor of beating Philly again last night. Like
Yeah.
we still own their souls a little bit.
So you're wearing 2 layers of Raptor gear.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Is there an
Absolutely.
undershirt with like a Raptors logo?
You,
on
no
it
one
too?
needs to know about that. No
Okay,
one
all
needs-
right.
So Ennis, last week, Will and I were talking about the Raptors having a nickname problem.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of great nicknames on this team. First of all, I want to run this by you. So, earlier this year, I know Svi had taken on the name Sviji, and I wasn't a very big fan. What were your thoughts on
Because
that
he
one?
cleans up? Is that what it
Because
is?
he's wet, like water, like
Oh,
his
like-
shot.
like Fiji
Yeah,
water.
like
Well,
a shot.
like Fiji, not like a
Yeah.
squeegee.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
thinking squeegee.
I've made this comparison earlier in the show where he went from squeegee to squeegee.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
As someone who came up with Spice and Dice, which we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the Sviji nickname that was circulated?
Well, it's confusing, right? Like immediately I thought you were talking about a squeegee, which sounds like an insult. So that's kind of a you need a he's kind of owning himself with that nickname. You got to find something that's the first thing. If you have to explain it, it kind of doesn't work, right? So that's the whole I mean, except for Spice and Dice, there's a cute little story behind it. I didn't even meet like that tweet was more about the fact that like I was trying to argue that Fred and Pascal would have gone 1-2 if you redrafted that season's draft. And a lot of people like chimed in on responding about Simmons and Tatum and all that. But the Spice and Dice thing was an afterthought, and then that kind of just like people ran with it from that. So now it's like you never even know when a nickname comes out and people love it. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's great. And we have this clip. Matt Devlin mentioned this on the broadcast.
This is crazy. This whole thing is
on
crazy.
on one of the games this season.
Yeah.
Little spice and dice for my man Ennis. Esther, come on, man.
I like that.
You like spice and dice?
I do.
Shout out.
Man.
no,
Incredible.
You're big time.
He yelled shout out too, which I love. He shouted out shout out, which is my favorite part.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Like this whole thing.
Shout out.
Yes, that's how you should say shout out. You should shout it out. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, so as a longtime Raptor fan, you
Yeah.
probably watched a ton of games. It's a one-way experience.
Yes.
You watch the Raptors. Matt Devlin talks about the Raptors, but when
Yeah.
they mention your name on the broadcast,
Crazy.
what's that feeling like?
I mean, one of my friends texted me. There's like, you've gotten too much power now. This is crazy. I mean, it's this is the age we live in. You couldn't imagine this like 20 years ago. You'd have to have been like yelling it from the arena, and like Chuck Swirsky hears it and
yeah, that's right.
maybe thinks to repeat it. But I know Alex, you've been campaigning on my behalf and like trying to get people to hear it and spread the word. And yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious to have your name mentioned on a sports broadcast. It's nuts.
I love how you get a kick out of it too. Because, like, listen, man, you're Ennis Esmer, critically acclaimed actor. I've been on your IMDb
Yeah.
just to look for punchlines when we do battle raps.
Yeah.
By the way, I battle with this guy, right?
You showed me the text
On text,
messages.
yeah.
You had to scroll. I'm not even kidding for a minute
Yeah.
until you got
For
to the
people
last
familiar
time.
with me, like, doing freestyles on this show, like, Ennis and I battle all the time.
So if he's the lethal weapon, do you have like a MC title?
I'm not good enough yet. I think I'm the text king. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, but like for all like your
that's not
resume
gonna
and
hit.
stuff.
That's
Okay,
not gonna hit.
let me work on it. I need a couple hours on a
text
computer.
No, this sounds like a terrible Netflix special. The text.
Yo, we brought Ennis on to slander his whole career.
This is great.
Oh,
No, but it's you
No,
make a-
but my
yeah,
point, my
I know
point
where
is
you're going
like,
with
my
this.
point is like, I love how like even someone like you who's accomplished a lot in his career like gets such a kick
Yeah.
out of getting that shot on the broadcast. I think that says something about your fandom too, right?
Yeah, it also says something about Canadian TV, maybe like that. I felt like, but that it was like a cooler moment than being in this business already. Like I forgot as I'm
Cooler than the
answering.
3 days you spent on the Schitt's Creek
It
set.
was like 5 days.
oh, okay.
Be
Sorry,
cool.
sorry.
But yeah, I kind of forgot that I'm on TV in that moment. I'm just
Yeah.
like a fan, and the fact that they mentioned me on the show was a thrill. And it's like, you've had a film and TV career for 20 years. I think you'd be okay with hearing your name on TV, but it was different.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Listen, the Spice and Dice nickname is incredible. As you mentioned, it came about from the discussion of the 2016 NBA draft, right? Which, by the way, I was reminded of this by the Philadelphia 76ers fans. So everyone knows the first overall pick in 2016 was Ben Simmons. Philly tanked quite a bit to get that pick done. And, obviously that was the whole strategy. We're going to tank forever, and we're going to get, we're going to win 10 games in a year, and we're going to get Ben Simmons as the reward. But I forgot that Philly also had 2 other picks, right? Because Sam Hinkie was like, a sicko, was literally trading anybody for picks, right? So the Sixers also had, in that 2016 draft, the 24th pick and the 26th pick. They took Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot, 24th, and took Furkan Korkmaz, 26th.
Ahead of Pascal.
Pascal was taking 27th. They missed on Pascal 3 times.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm not, shout out to Furkan Korkmaz. I mean, as a Turkish player.
Oh, that's right. Was that
Korkmaz
you at
means
the arena
never
yesterday
scared. Did
with
you
the
know that?
Turkish flag at the arena? 'Cause
No,
Alex
no,
was-
no.
We did someone.
Alex
at
was
the-
literally like, what flag is that? And I was like, what?
I didn't major in geography, man.
You didn't have to. You didn't see
Student of the world right there, Alex.
That's
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'm not as cultured as Will Lou.
And I was rooting for us to get him because his last name literally translates to never scared, which is amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
does not scare. But I mean, he plays for the Sixers, so he's probably pretty scared now. Watch out!
Damn.
Shout out!
Yo, this is energy.
It's the best.
So, Enes, let me ask you this. What goes into a good nickname? Like, in your opinion?
Literally not thinking about it for more than 2 seconds, and then Michael Grange retweets it, and then you say it's amazing, and then somehow it gets on Sportsnet.
Well, we're going to need more because there's about 40 minutes left, and I'm not trying to, go into the break in case of emergency.
Right.
Oh, you
I
really
really
topics
want to
at the
know.
moment.
see these
I
topics.
really want to know.
man.
Can I give an entry into your best moments draft?
Yeah,
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 go ahead,
Can I
go
do that?
ahead.
Because I was thinking about a couple
Yeah,
on the
what's
way
up?
back, and I honestly, and now this is to say no disrespect, and for whatever happened, however it played out, it's totally fine. I get it.
We got the drive. You're
The
on the
what,
clock.
like 13th pick?
Yeah.
I think, and Levon kind of covered this when he said Dragic coming back and getting booed.
Mm.
But I think the moment that he was quoted as saying he had higher ambitions, that's the pocket for the team, the city, and the country in terms of fans. Like we're in that Jordan vibe of like we need to take things personally
Yeah.
and feel slighted to really have something to root for. And I think that did that. It was almost like it's a bit like we won a ring. Like nobody's thinking like, oh, that's okay. I was looking at my graphic. I was excited about it. We have a ring. Like all that stuff's, people don't leave here. I mean, Kawhi, yeah, people still do leave here. But the fact that it was Goran Dragic, like, no, I was excited
Right.
to get him. I was like, cool. That'll be a great backup. It'll be a nice transition.
Don't you have to be good to disrespect us?
Yeah, there you go.
Don't
I
you
mean,
have to
even
be good to have ambitions?
no shots fired, no slander, all slander aside. I was like, that's a gift. We need that to like.
Yeah.
It's fuel for this city's fan base, So that was actually kind of, and then you put us right back in like nobody expected anything from us. You wanted to go to Dallas of all places. Like, have you seen Toronto? Have you watched this team play for the last few years, Goran? Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was special.
I did enjoy Goran's
needed that.
apology tour because he first off talked to Michael Grange and cleared up. He's like, "Oh no, what I meant was I'm a veteran and I want to go win a championship because I haven't done it before because I'm not at that level." And then him coming to training camp and like walking around the city. Remember him and
Yeah, he was
Scotty
posting about
and Sam
how much he
Decker
loves
walking
Scotty.
on. They were like, "Oh, I love the street, Wellington."
It was the financial district. It was where I used to work.
You got
I
to win a
noticed
ring
it.
to shout out Wellington. You can't.
Oh my
Kyle's the
God.
only one that can show love for the
Oh,
Gardner
wow.
and the
By-
DVP.
by the way, they
We're
were
turning down Portland right now. Wow.
They were definitely coming from Cactus Club, by the way.
Yeah, of course they were, man. Again, the Raptors. I beg the Raptors players to go north of Bloor as often as you can, please. There's more to the city.
It definitely is.
Yeah, no, but this team doesn't need Goran. Like, that's the thing. He wouldn't
Yeah,
even
no, we
fit on this
straight up
team.
didn't need- no,
He wouldn't even fit on this team.
First
right
off, he's
now.
too small to play on the team.
Yep.
Let's be real. The Raptors' whole identity is being big, and then he just wasn't good. I don't know what else to say, man.
He had flashes though. I mean, it's not like he was
Name one flash right now.
Yeah, name one flash.
That game against Detroit where he had
That's
to start.
not a flash. They lost that game.
And that was his final
Yeah,
game
but they
with the
lost that
Raptors.
game because Dwayne Casey dominates the Raptors now. That's not his fault. You can't put that on him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's shooting 37% with Brooklyn this year.
He should coach on that team, man. Steve Nash's whole coaching staff is ex-teammates.
Nah, Steve Nash puts him in the game, and he's like, I wish I could put myself into the game.
It's like the age difference is not that much.
He's like, yo, that was my rookie.
Oh, man. But
But
listen,
he should be my coach.
That's crazy.
what I want to do with you here today.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's that you sent in on social media to us after our nickname program a bunch of nickname suggestions for the Precious Achua Chris Boucher combo
Yeah.
that comes off the bench.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at this list right now of names you came
I've
up
got
with.
more, by the way. I got like 10 more on top of
Okay,
that.
so
let's
let's go through these.
most of these are just horrendous.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the ones that you sent, and then maybe you can just quickly give us a quick,
Little
description, summary. And what I want to do, the
pitch.
three of us, out of these 10 or whatever additional ones we have, let's narrow it down to a top 3. Okay,
Okay,
a
that's fair.
consensus
That's fair.
top 3.
We'll just have a little brainstorming session
Yeah,
on there.
and then we'll have a surprise for you.
And if you want, I mean, if you want to add or riff on mine or just
Yeah.
watch them, if you got some, if it inspires,
I've been trying to
creativity, I'm
set you
into
up
it.
as the nickname expert, but when I was like, "What goes into a nickname?" You're like, "Just you retweeting it." So it's tough. It was tough.
I mean,
Again.
that's the thing. Don't meet your heroes. You know what I mean? Because the explanation's never that great.
Once again, I have to say the Raptors universe is not about us. It's about the team. All right, but keep going.
Yeah. So back to about the team. We
Yeah.
want to solve this nickname problems. Okay.
Right.
So the first nickname suggestion you have for Precious and Chris Boucher is twice as nice.
Yeah. We just keep it in the spice and dice pocket. That's
Yeah.
like the
Twice as nice.
I don't
studio
mind that one.
executive.
Yeah, oddly, it's hitting for me.
Okay. So as we go through these, if we don't like them, we cut them. So let's
Okay.
not cut this one yet.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're keeping this one.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
put a C next to the ones you cut.
Yeah,
Okay, so that one's it.
I got this. Don't worry. I produced this
all right.
41-page rundown.
All right,
Don't
all right.
worry. Yeah. So next one is Thunder Twins.
Yeah. It's like Wonder Twins. Wonder
What's-
Twins activate
What's Wonder Twins?
from
Uh,
Super Friends.
yeah.
Justice League, Batman, Super. No, it's
Yeah,
out.
let's-
It's out. It's
yeah,
out.
yeah. Okay. Cut.
What?
Cut.
All right, man.
If
In an
William-
audio medium, you
all
went
all I
to-
watch is the Raptors. That's I don't know any
You were
other.
a child at some point, weren't you?
I was in
Yo,
China on a farm.
this
I'm not
guy-
even kidding.
This guy's favorite movie is the 2019 Raptors playoff
Oh,
run.
yeah, I got it on Blu-ray for
That's
free.
that's
a
your
good.
all-time.
I bought that on iTunes. I got it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Rock, Steady, and Bebop.
Yeah, they're the Ninja Turtles villains. Rock, Ball,
Okay,
Steady,
yeah.
Steady
B
with the
starts
rock
with
one,
a Boucher starts
Ball.
with a B. Yeah, Ball.
Okay.
Rock, Steady, and B Ball. Yeah.
Let's keep this one for now.
All right, that one's not.
Yeah.
Bad. This one.
This one I really like
Yeah.
too. Working 5 to 5.
Yeah.
So explain the 5 to 5 reference.
Precious number 5, Boucher's number 25.
Mhm.
If Precious was number 9, this is a lock. It's a wrap. And I
Yeah.
could just picture Matt Devlin doing it after like a block or a shout out, working 9 to 5, 5 to 5.
Shout out.
So yeah, working 5 to 5. Obviously, the song 9 to 5. You're familiar
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
song
yeah.
and movie.
Oh, I thought you were asking Alex if he's familiar with what a 9 to 5 is. 'Cause he's never worked one in his life.
As an actor, neither have I. I don't know what that is.
yeah, this is foreign territory for both me and Ennis, but
working 5 to 5.
I like-
I like this
really
one.
like that one.
Let's keep this one too.
And
Okay.
you know what? That's part. You want to talk about what goes into a good nickname? Not having to over-explain it. Can you picture Matt Devlin yelling it? And does it work as a hashtag? Like, does it work to read?
I like that.
Okay.
There you go.
So this next one,
Yeah, this one's.
Smacks Milk.
What is that?
They got Max Milk. It's a defunct. Pretty much. Is it defunct? It's a convenience store. They had them in Quebec. They had them in Ontario. Max Milk. They had the little. They're Circle K's, right?
Okay,
so yeah,
so-
you have to really know, which I like. There's like a Canadian energy to it, and smacks like blocks, but
No,
it's trash.
No, this
Max
one's
Milk
tough.
is garbage.
You really nicknamed them Fortinos. All right, let's keep going, man. All right, keep going.
Yo, I applied to
All
Fortino's
right,
once. Anyways,
this one's really a setup for the next one, but this
yes.
one's too weak.
So this one is 4x4.
Yeah, because they each have two. They're both 2 meters tall and 2 meter wingspans plus. So 4 each, 4x4. I don't know. You get like a hacksaw Jim Duggan kind of a vibe.
I like that.
Keep her cut.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's keep it for now.
Yeah.
This next one. Am I pronouncing this right when I say just Home Depot?
No, it's
man. Oh my goodness.
Did I
bro.
pronounce his name right?
Oh no.
no.
Oh no, man! Come on, man! Canada's a bilingual country, man.
Wow.
There's 2 official languages. There's English and French, man.
My-
This guy
my-
said home with 2 M's.
Did you think that was a typo? Or
My two official languages are English and Cantonese.
fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
So this one, because building on
I'm the lethal weapon. I do not finish second.
I finished third in this one right now. All right, Ennis.
Okay, so 4x4s or big chunks of wood you
Yes.
could usually buy at Home Depot. They're both men. Chris is French. Depot is what I was thinking.
Oh, that's how you pronounce that
Yeah.
word. I learn a new word every day.
That's too much of a visual. I think it doesn't.
How do we
really
feel
work.
about this one, Will?
I kind of like it, man. I kind of like it because
Depot.
I can also envision Herbie Kuhn saying this because Herbie is every time he
Mm.
announces Chris into the game,
Yeah.
he always says it all in French.
Yeah.
You're like, "Entend pour the Toronto Raptors." Nimra Van Sant, Chris
More than
Boucher.
that. It's longer than the Pascal ethical
No,
30
I
ball
was
tweet.
like, I know a little bit of French, and I sometimes I can't fully understand what's happening in the game.
Yeah, well, imagine me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this guy said Home Depot.
So are we
That's
keeping that
awful.
one for now?
I like that one.
Okay.
I like that one actually.
Okay, next
Home
one.
Depot,
You might
yeah.
have to be like, it might have to be 5 because that's
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna close.
Next one, 60 minutes of dunk.
That was more just a Funkmaster Flex reference.
Yes,
they don't even
yes,
dunk
yes,
that much.
yeah.
I just
People
like
don't
saying
know that
yeah.
one.
All right.
Okay.
All right, now this one, it's all about the pronunciation because I don't want to talk about the other network
Okay.
right now.
Oh, okay.
So again, French. They're both centers. This is a shout out to my friend Rob Brown who makes fun of how we say how we spell center in this country and theater and everything else. Sports centres,
I actually don't mind that one.
right?
All
And it
right.
also works as sports centers. Like that's kind of
Yes.
that's fun too. You could say it 2 ways. Herbie could have some fun with that. It looks good in the visual. It's 2 separate words, sports centers.
Yeah, this next one you already said when you sent this out that it's awful.
It's
You
awful.
said sneeze guards.
What does that mean?
I mean, everyone tries to, the easy reach is like precious sneezing, like Achua,
Oh, I
sneeze
didn't. Okay,
and
okay,
a sneeze
okay,
guard, like at like a Pizza Hut
Yeah,
at the salad bar buffet. You don't know what a sneeze
yeah.
guard
No,
is?
we're good, man. We're good on that one.
Yeah, that's
We're
tough.
good on that one.
is tough.
We're good on
yeah,
that
it
one.
sucks.
That one's tough.
I literally wrote, "They're not guards. This is awful."
Yeah, they're not guards. They're straight up not guards.
This man's not even editing his tweets, man. He's just saying, "Yo, first draft."
This guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you said you have some extra ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
let's go.
I mean, so I really haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies, but I mean, there is one called The Two Towers,
Yes.
and we got the Precious angle. Chris has 2 rings, so I was thinking the Lords of the Ring, or just the Two Towers. It's kind of obvious, but you could do all kinds of like.
Well, you're the Lord of the Rings guy.
graphics. It's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
Well, where
But
would you?
it's
Is there
it's
anything
too
else?
generic
in,
because
is there anything else? in
there's
that
always
world?
the Twin Towers in the NBA. It's like Tim,
No, I know,
Tim
it's
Duncan
Duncan,
and
yeah.
David Robinson. Yeah.
But is there something around them being lords, which I kind of like? Like they're multiple lords. It's in the canon. I don't know the canon
yeah,
of
it's
that.
tough. The ring race. I don't know, man.
Yeah, just say no.
It's too nerdy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too nerdy.
All right, too nerdy,
Too
all
nerdy.
right.
Too nerdy. Yeah.
All right,
Maybe we call them Frodo and Sam.
yeah,
Which makes no sense,
that
by the
doesn't
way.
make any sense.
Hobbits are actually like 4 feet tall, or 3 feet tall, so this doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let's see if I can do these. I got one. Is they both wear headbands. They're both backup centers, backup bands. That's an idea. They're the
I
backup
like your
band.
other ones better.
All right.
I'm obsessed with the working 5 to 5.
Like
Actually,
that's
Yeah,
the
5 to
one.
5, twice as nice is also hitting. For
I
some
like-
reason.
all right.
I still don't think. Yeah.
That's my pocket. I just only generate stuff that rhymes with ice. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris grew up in Montreal. Precious went to Montverde High School in
Yeah.
Florida. Mont is French for mountain,
Mm.
mountain high as a combo.
There's something there with the Mont, but I
Yeah.
don't know if Mont High is the.
yeah.
It might not be
I
that
feel
high.
like-
Also
Yeah.
makes people think.
Plus, I
of-
feel like you got to explain it to me. Like, there's too much of an explanation.
well, you
behind it.
you explained it the first time, and then
Yeah.
everyone, if you know kind of situation.
Mm.
No, okay, that one sucks.
There's
too.
something
Okay.
Mont there. There's something Mont. In there.
All right, just amuse bouche. That's just fun to
Ah,
say.
I like that. I like that for no reason. Yeah, I like all the French ones apparently.
yeah, right.
Yeah. They have bouche for no reason. Okay.
What do you think about Achua and Boucher? A and B. A plus B equals D. It's bad. I get it.
I
That's
could see
fine.
Devlin saying that though. Actually,
Like you could say him yelling out like, "Hey!" Like
Yeah.
if they combine on
Yeah.
like a double
yeah.
team.
This is. It started really good with twice as nice,
Yeah,
and
yo.
now I'm like, you guys are nicknaming blood types. You guys are saying A B, man.
Yo,
All right.
did-
What is this?
are we creating a bigger nickname problem?
I
right
think
now?
yeah, and you're making me this. By the way, the ones that I've just said were all between 4 and 5 in the morning today.
That's
like I
amazing.
couldn't get to sleep because I was trying to think of more nicknames.
Well, listen, I think we should narrow it down. So twice as nice is good,
All
Yeah.
right.
right? Working 5 to 5 is good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm
which,
gonna
which
go
other
with
one you want
Home
to pick?
Depot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's really good.
That's the dark horse. See, that's the one.
All right.
That's
I'm
the
gonna.
one
I'm gonna
writers like.
okay. So those
Yeah.
those are gonna be 3. So
All right.
listen, let's
What
take
about
a.
sports centers?
I don't mind that either. You know what? Let's keep those 4,
Yeah.
and then let's take the break, and then when we come back, we'll have a surprise. For
Let's
you.
do that. So I've been your host, Wolu. You've been listening to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Yes, we did. Did I? Yes, that is right. So we brought Ennis in. We hyped him up as the expert of nicknames. But you know, we have a few good ones though, right? Didn't you guys come up with another one during the break?
Well, I was reading the chat because people had a lot of suggestions in here as well. Someone suggested the CN Towers, which then I was like, okay, that makes sense, obviously. But then
I realized that C could be Canadian for Chris and N could be Nigerian for Precious. So that has like double meanings.
that might be the best one. CN Towers.
Yeah. Let's
I kind of think
add that to
I
the
kind of
list.
think that's it.
Let's add that to the list.
Because you think of like calling Vince Air Canada, that was a no-brainer like immediately, right? It's
Yeah.
it's right there. Plus, it was brilliant marketing for them. But
I mean, if you think about like the history, if the history of the Raptors nicknames, like if you think about it, Ennis, like how many good nicknames have the Raptors had? Like in history, like all time. Like I think about obviously
Mighty
like
Mouse?
Mighty Mouse,
Yeah.
right?
All right, I'm back.
Air Canada is good.
T-Mac,
I mean, T-Mac's just his name.
Mo Pete, yeah, those aren't that great.
Mo Pete's just his name.
Ball, we used to call Ball.
Yeah, that's not-
Speedo was
and,
Ball.
like-
Mo Pete is just his name. So funny.
Kalo, which I call Clo.
By the way, actually, I meant to ask
Halo,
you this.
yeah.
So yesterday the Raptors played the Sixers.
Yeah.
And one guy off their bench, Paul Reed.
Mhm.
His nickname is B-Ball Paul, which I really take exception to. How could your job just be your nickname?
Yeah, what is everybody's B-Ball something then? It should be B-Ball Joel.
Yeah, you
B-Ball
should be
Goran?
React Pod Will.
Is that like I'm Mr. Podcast? Like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, like that's not a nickname.
Yeah, it's like
B-Ball Paul is not a nickname.
No, it's not.
That's not fair.
Ernest, the actor Ezra. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you'd be actor Ennis.
Yeah.
Like that's what you would be.
B-Ball Paul.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense.
I mean, it rhymes at least.
Yeah.
Sure, but like,
no, that's
no, you have to have a work-life balance with your nickname.
Yeah.
If
It has
that's
to
if your
reflect on
nickname
you
is
as a
B-Ball
person.
Paul, man.
Your
I
personal-
can't take B-Ball Paul. That's not the one for me.
Yeah, but
You gotta
listen,
find out his hobbies.
listen, Ennis, we narrowed this down to the best nicknames. And what I wanted to do was, we have Matt Devlin on the line right now.
What?
So I want you to pitch these names to Matt, and maybe Matt can workshop some of these with you. So, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Double E, what's the word?
Oh, man.
Oh, let's go. Matt
Shout
Devlin's got
out,
that
what's going
Friday
They
on?
called you
energy.
Edwin Encarnacion.
Wow, this is a great surprise. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. My friend. A little spice and dice on a Friday for you.
Wow, what an honor. This never stops. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
So-
Well, it could give even more. You never know. You
Right.
never know.
I'm waiting.
I'm already seeing the clothing line, Spice and Dice.
Yeah, I really should have emailed the nickname to myself beforehand so I could copyright it.
Exactly. Exactly. How you doing?
I'm all right. So we're going to try out
Okay.
some new nicknames and
Yes.
Is that the deal? Is that what we're doing here?
yeah. So Matt, we
And,
were,
and
what's up?
we actually think that all those I mean I don't know, do we want to go back and revisit all those names again that I just listened to?
Okay, I think we're getting the message. Matt, writing a sequel is hard, okay? Repeating
Oh,
is
my
hard. You've
God.
seen the 2020 Raptors. It was hard to repeat, you know what I mean?
It is.
It's hard
It
to get
is. It
sustained
is.
success in the acting game, in the basketball game, or in the nickname game.
Well, there's no question. Sometimes, as we all know, you just got to leave it with one, right? There is that theory of one and done.
Wow, it's turned into roast battle Canada right now. This is
Matt,
great.
Matt
Oh
said you
my
got to know when to
goodness.
walk away from the poker table.
He said you don't want to hold them, want to fold them.
Yeah, hey, I kid because I care.
Oh,
That's all.
I believe it. You want the best for me. I understand that.
Oh my God.
All right, so Matt's already heard some of these. So
Yeah.
Ennis, why don't you pitch your favorites to Matt and let's get
Let's
his
each
reaction.
do a favorite. I think we should each try one.
Okay,
Okay,
so
fine.
okay, Will, do you want to start?
Yeah, okay. So my favorite one of the bunch is CN Towers for the two of them, Precious and Chris. As Ennis pointed out, one is Canadian, one is Nigerian. There you go, CN, and then Towers.
Yeah.
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 He hates it. He hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's like, I'm not using this one. This is not Drano. This is not Drano. This is not good.
It's
Good
not
night,
Drano.
Houston. It's not
Good night,
abuse.
Houston. It's not stay classy, San Diego.
No,
Yeah, it's not.
really isn't.
It's not even contact no call on this one. This is nickname no call. I'm not gonna call it on the air. Okay, all right, let's go.
Okay,
next
now
one.
Matt, this one I feel like you could really put your personal mustard on it in terms of like if they do something great, working 5-2-5. I feel like that's
and that's based on the 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
yeah.
barely
And I
getting
can even hear
by.
you saying that. What a
There's
way to
no
make a living.
taken, and it's all given or something, right?
Yeah.
Right, Ennis? Was that how it went?
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know all the lyrics to
5
it, but
to
yeah,
5.
what a way to make a living.
Yeah, 5. I mean, look at 5 to 5. I could see that working. Like with a little dish. Boucher over to Achua. 5 to 5.
Yeah, I'm getting chills right now.
Okay,
That
all
was
right.
incredible.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. No, I like that one. How about twice as nice? I think that's an easy one, especially when they're crashing the boards. You've always got a couple Raptors there, and it's got the rhyming scheme with the spice and dice. And I can picture you saying that on air, Matt.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit too close. What? Just my hesitation already?
I
You're
love
reading
it.
into
Your
my
You're
hesitation
just
is
so good at
amazing.
letting people down. It's
feel like-
it's a gift.
This is exactly like pitching a TV show right
It
now.
sounds
What's
like
happening?
it sounds like you're just
Yeah.
gently breaking up with Alex on air.
No,
You're like, look,
Alex, you know how close we've been, and you've been a great friend for all these years, and
oh my lord.
I always appreciate, everything that you do, your passion for the Raptors, and
So
it
getting
was a great
fired,
book.
right? You're
It
getting
was a
fired.
great book.
Yes.
It was a great book.
It was a
It was a great book. We're gonna put that as a new blurb on the paperback. It was a great book, Matt Devlin. No twice as nice.
Twice as nice.
I like the 5 to 5 is kind of.
That's my favorite too.
I'm kind of the 5 to 5. But here's one of the things, and there are so many times throughout the course of the game, I think that Spice and Dice is actually as good as it gets, and that's the hard part, right? That is the hard part. But throughout the course of the game, I'll say something without, there's no like premeditated, hey, I'm going in and I'm saying this. It's just like years ago when I said Steady Freddie. Well, that's easy, right? Steady Freddie. But he was kind of like a stabilizer out there, and he would run the show, and it just kind of, comes up. And then obviously, we had a lot of fun with Freddie All-Star and, Pascal Ollie. And that is obviously in a completely different category. And Scotty B is just natural, and it's like a T-Mac, as you mentioned earlier. But the hard thing about the bench, right? The hard part about a bench is that everybody goes back and uses bench mob, right? I'm reading game notes, this year, and I can't tell you how many times it's referenced as that, right? And in Raptor lore, as we know what that original bench mob is, right? And so now you take a look at Precious, who, a transition 3 last night.
Oh,
crazy.
On the break 3, shades of Kyle Lowry, and then Chris Boucher, what he's been able to lock in and do. I haven't thought much about, where to go with that, but the 5 to 5, you could definitely, work in, right? And that's kind of an easy one because of their numbers. And so
You could even add the working to that. Like you could say working 5 to 5.
Don't push your luck,
Just
man.
an idea. Just workshop.
Just take it,
Yo,
man.
take
Matt's
your
already
line
giving you
read.
5 to
Yo,
5.
take what you can get, man.
Okay, sorry, Matt.
Just cash
Sorry,
out,
Matt.
man.
Sorry, Matt.
Please cash
I'm
out.
No one
just
to hold him. No
I
one to
got
hold
one
him, man.
shot. You know what I mean? I only get one shot.
So we might hear that if a Precious and Boucher kind of fast break or something like a two-man game.
Well, you never know, right?
He's making no promises.
No,
So you don't think one of them will dunk and then you'll yell out, "Oh, sneeze guards!"
Look, here's no.
Yeah, no.
As much as I'll fall on a crutch of saying contact no call, there's no intent of that. It just ends up coming out that way. And then with respect to even mixing in spice and dice, which I've done, a few different occasions, and we've actually had some graphics with it. And the run that I gave All-Star, or the run that I gave All-NBA, or the run that I gave, Scotty Roy, those sort of things now are kind of like, okay, the point was made. People please notice, which they have. And I'm not saying notice anything other than their accomplishments on the floor. And so that, to me, is why I love the Spice and Dice, because it already plays off of what, when you look at Pascal Siakam, with, Spicy P, which he likes, and then you have Fred VanVleet bet on yourself and he's rolling the dice. I mean, like, that to me is the brilliance of Spice and Dice, and leave it up to the wonderful actor that you have in studio, to come up with that and give him full credit for it. And now it's like, okay, now you got to start thinking about, okay, hey, who else can we call? Who else can we, what else can we kind of do? And so, and sometimes, as you all three know, it'll come up on social platforms, and somebody will come up with something, and then all of a sudden it'll just grow.
Yeah, like actually, was it earlier this week? Yeah, Chris Boucher was on earlier this week, and a lot of Canadian players. I think when Andrew Wiggins was coming up, like, people were calling him Maple Jordan, and because Boucher obviously talked a lot about the Dennis Rodman influence, we pitched him the nickname Maple Rodman, and then he liked that one.
He liked it.
Yeah,
He did.
yeah. I guess Matt's a tough
You are
customer,
a
man.
ruthless network executive, just slicing three up-and-coming writers down to size.
Slicing and dicing
And look,
suggestions,
no,
man.
you kidding me? With all the crazy stuff I say, everything that you have brought to the table is absolutely worthy. But I will say this, and you guys probably are like, there's no way, Matt. Like, heading into the game tonight against Houston, there isn't one thing pre-planned or pre-organized or written down for me to say, hey, I got to get this in tonight. Other than, from a statistical standpoint, all of the work that I'm putting together, is kind of based on that. And then the call just kind of flows.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally believe that. I would imagine it's all jazz, baby.
Yeah, it's
You're one of the
maybe
greats,
a good
man.
way
This
to
is
put it.
Such a surreal honor to even be talking
5
to you
to
on
5.
a radio show.
Double E. Let's go.
I like that.
We tried to make your dream come true, and Devlin's just spending the whole segment. Devlin's got 9 blocks in this segment
my
right
goodness.
now.
Oh, that's showbiz, baby. You got to be able to get
Triple
back
double,
on
no
your feet.
assists right
How,
now.
how can you say that when I told them the brilliance of Spice and Dice?
Yeah, that was
That's right.
amazing. That's amazing.
Right?
Oh.
I mean, how that I mean, that is as good as it gets. Spice and Dice is as good as it gets.
No,
There you
it's
go.
it's for
Flip
real
that.
though. Like, that's gonna be in, like, the part of the Raptors lexicon.
I'm going to put that on my resume under the special skills section at the bottom.
No, like it's great. Matt, since we have you here too, in the first hour, Will and I were drafting our favorite moments from this Raptors regular season, and I know Ennis chimed in with a few as well. One of the picks I made was, your flu game in Indiana. When you look back on this season, like, what are some couple moments that stand out to you, whether it's games or moments for you?
Well, there's probably too many to recall. It was, I always go back to what Nick Nurse said. This year, more so than the bubble year, maybe even more so than Tampa, was as difficult of a year because you begin the season thinking, hey, here we go. And you're back in the arena, and you're back calling games in the arena. You're back playing in the arena, everything. And as we know, there are just so many different things that unfolded, inclusive of the Indiana game where, it's back-to-back. I'm, back in an arena. My voice hasn't – all last year I called games in a studio, and as Ennis noticed, it's different from being in a live environment. And I kind of felt, we landed in Indy. I was like, okay, I got to rest my voice and stuff. And then you get back into that loud arena, and I was speaking with the stage manager, and you're screaming through mass, and literally it was like 2 minutes before we were going on the air, and I'm like, okay, that about did it, right? Like, let's try to, get through this game. And there's just so many, the three different, our broadcast crew, if you don't mind me saying, Chris Phillips, Dave Leader, Gavin DeBerry, John Russin have done an exceptional job because every night there was something different. Nothing was ordinary. It was, we're doing it out of this studio. Now we're doing it out of Gate 5. Now we're going to go to another studio. Now we're in an arena with no fans. Now we have 50%. I mean, there's just every night was something different. And so they just did an amazing job. As far as games are concerned, there was not one or two moments. There were some big-time moments. And Scotty, Gary Trent Jr., Fred Van Vliet, and Pascal Siakam, they didn't have one or two of those moments. They had multiple moments. And, in fact, we can look back on this past week.
Yep.
Just put together the numbers that Siakam in this 3-game homestand is averaging. Like, it's crazy stuff. And to think that he'll be the first Raptor ever to average 28 and 5 in the course of a season. To think about Fred making 242 threes.
Yeah.
To think about with Scotty, he's top 5 in every category for a rookie, and he's putting together numbers that Luka Doncic put together in a completely different situation. And so, we could talk about Gary and his performances and big time, and he's been all of that and more, and Fred, obviously, so all of those things to me, and here they are, a team that nobody wants to see. If there's two teams that nobody wants to see, we know what people are thinking about Brooklyn, but there's no way that Philadelphia wants any part of the Toronto Raptors. And it's going to be really interesting over these next 72 hours to see how all that unfolds, really now down to 48 hours.
Yeah, I think most of the Raptors fan base and a lot of media members we talked to this week, like, we asked them the question, like, who do you want to see in the first round? It's unanimously, it was Philadelphia. And that was even before last night's game.
Yeah.
They fought.
No, well, I think there's something there in some, well, look, we can talk about the mental aspect of you're living in somebody else's territory up there, but it's also just all the multiple defensive equations that Nick brings to the table, the execution by the players. How many different bodies did we see on Joel Embiid last night? It was there was single coverage, but it wasn't always the same, right? There was doubles. I mean, he saw a lot of different stuff, and it was impressive.
Yeah. Well, Matt, listen, got another game tonight.
Good night, Houston.
Good night, Houston. I know you said you're not going to play any of these.
Good night, Houston.
I would love to hear that again. And you know what? This has been a great year, and I'm looking forward to everything that you're going to be doing in the playoffs.
Oh, Matt Devlin in the playoffs?
Ooh, playoff Devlin?
Oh,
You say
playoff
playoff?
Matty D?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's a
God.
nickname there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Enough. He's shot that enough.
You guys,
We're not going to
you
suggest
guys
one
are-
more.
No, you guys are awesome and a great listen. And you know what? All of those nicknames are certainly worthy. You guys know that. It just depends upon what comes up in a given moment. You never know, and that's what makes it live TV.
There you go. All right, Matt Devlin. I don't even have to say where you can catch him. You know where you can catch him.
Catch him.
Are you guys there tonight?
Of course. Alex,
Mm.
I know Alex is a TBD, but
Yeah, I'm
come
there.
on, Alex.
Oh,
you're gonna go.
really?
You're gonna go. Let's pressure
Ennis,
you
are
on
you
there to
gonna
do
be
your
there?
job.
No, I'm. My girlfriend got us tickets to the symphony, so we're gonna be watching a performance
Okay.
of Vivaldi.
You sound
But-
thrilled.
I'll be checking my phone for
Sounds
sure. It's
exciting.
also
Oh, man.
All right. That does it for our show today. I've been your host, Wolu. Is this too early for this or not? I don't know.
You got 90 seconds.
That's
I love how
fine.
he was like,
I could do this slowly.
I love how Matt was just like, yeah, those could work, but not when I'm calling the game.
Those
and you
could
can
work.
tell like he was worried
for
that
you.
he hurt our feelings and
The
tried to
best
be
was-
nice at the end.
The best was when I was like, yo, Chris said yes to Maple Rodman. He's like, oh, he did?
Matt is incredible.
Yeah.
Matt is
at
great
putting-
energy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Oh,
just
that's
working
great.
at such a high level that like you just hear it and you know what I mean? Like he's made magic on TV for decades. Like this is
That's true. Yeah.
No,
this is
it's amazing. Listen, Ennis, thank you for joining us.
thanks for having me.
Let's see if twice as nice or, working 5 to 5 makes it in. But
Depot.
I wouldn't worry about it tonight. I would just
Depot
enjoy
is
the
really the dark
symphony.
horse.
Yeah,
That's the
don't
dark
get
horse.
sweated.
Leave your phone off
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
symphony.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
you'll be all right.
It'll be quiet for you. All right. Now it does it for us today. I'm your host, Wolu. You've been listening to The Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Make sure you find The Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe. Please rate and review our show. A reminder, we're streaming live on Sportsnet YouTube channel and on Sportsnet 360, Monday to Friday between 1 and 3 p.m. Thanks again to my producer and co-host, Alex Wong, to our guest, Lee Van Osmond. Matt Devlin and Ennis Esmer, our board producer Derek Bandale, and Jennifer Rolnick are helping us behind the scenes with the YouTube stream. We'll talk to you soon. And finally, a message from our presenting sponsor. Discover the best eatery neighborhood on DoorDash without leaving your home. So many options to choose from, and ordering is easy. For a limited time, you can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code TheFan25. Fuel up for tip-off order today